Don't skip this. You've felt it. The look in her eyes when they met yours, that unmistakable softness, like she saw something in you the world never had. The way her voice lowered when she spoke your name, the subtle pauses when she listened, really listened. The energy between you. It shifted, became warmer, intimate, unspoken. And just when you thought you were about to step into something real, she pulled back. Text replies slowed down. Eye contact faded. The warmth that used to greet you every day turned into silence. And you're left wondering, what happened? Was it all in your head? Was the connection fake? Was it you? In this video, we're going to unpack why women sometimes ignore the very man they care about most. Not out of coldness, not to manipulate you, but because what they feel is too real, too intense, too powerful. If you've ever felt that emotional confusion, that space between closeness and distance, keep watching. This might change the way you see love forever. 1. Real love doesn't always announce itself. Most people think love means constant attention, words, emojis, energy. But sometimes the most powerful love doesn't make noise, it withdraws. When a woman starts to feel deeply, she might retreat. Not because she doesn't care, but because she suddenly cares so much that her emotions overwhelm her usual way of relating. It's not rejection, it's reflection. You see, not every woman has the emotional vocabulary to say, "This feels like more than I expected. I don't know how to handle it yet." So instead, she pulls back. The warmth fades, not because it's gone, but because it's burning hotter than she expected, and she's afraid of losing control. A man who understands this doesn't chase, he doesn't panic, he doesn't flood her with "what's wrong" messages. He stays centered, because a grounded man knows, her emotions are not mine to manage, my peace is not up for negotiation. That silence, it's not a test. It's not punishment, it's a signal. She's figuring out whether she can be vulnerable around you, whether you're someone who remains solid even when emotions grow uncertain. That's the kind of man she'll never forget. 2. She fears losing control of herself. Falling in love is not just beautiful, it's terrifying. For many women, it threatens a part of them they've carefully protected, their emotional independence, their balance, their control. When she feels deeply, she may fear being swept away, fear being hurt, fear needing you in a way that makes her feel exposed. And when that fear becomes too loud, she backs away. It doesn't mean she doesn't feel the connection, it means she feels it so strongly that it shakes her. This is where most men get it wrong. They misread her silence as a withdrawal of love. They start texting more, calling more, searching for answers, thinking that action will fix the gap. But you can't fix someone else's emotional process. A Stoic man knows her silence isn't a problem to solve. It's an emotion to respect. So he gives her space, not because he's cold, but because he trusts the connection enough to let it breathe. When a woman sees that, sees a man who doesn't flinch under pressure, it changes something inside her, because in a world full of men who react, the one who remains unshaken stands out like a lighthouse in a storm. 3. She's quietly testing your emotional depth. No, she's not playing games, but when she steps back, she is watching to see if your affection is conditional, watching to see if you'll spiral or stay grounded, watching to see if you'll force her to feel safe, or if you'll just be safe. And here's the truth most men avoid. Her distance might not be rejection. It might be a test of your emotional strength. She's asking herself without words, can I trust this man with my heart? Will he stay composed when I need space? Or will he crumble? When she stops texting, slows down, pulls back, it's not always because she's losing interest. It might be because her feelings are deepening, and she needs to know if you can handle the weight of them. This is when most men self-destruct. They chase, they beg, they try to fix it. And in doing so, they reveal that they weren't grounded. They were dependent on her attention to feel okay. but the man who remains still. He tells her through silence, "I'm here. I'm whole, and I don't need to be reassured to stay composed." That's the man she trusts. That's the man she reconsiders, reimagines, and returns to, because he made safety feel like stillness, not pressure. 4. She's feeling too much, too fast. Sometimes her heart gets ahead of her head, and when that happens, silence becomes survival. You see, some women are used to being in control of their lives, their routines, their emotional boundaries. But love, real love, that's chaos, that's messy, that's vulnerable. So when she starts to fall harder than she expected, her system goes into emotional shock. She's not ghosting you, she's buffering. She's recalibrating the story she told herself about how strong she was, how self-contained she was. And you just cracked that shell. The wrong move here is to demand her emotional availability. The right move is to offer her emotional safety. Don't flood her with messages. Don't try to win her back. Just breathe. And trust that if the connection is real, she'll feel your absence, not as punishment, but as peace. She'll come back to the man who didn't chase chaos, but calmed it just by being himself. 5. She needs to regain her inner balance. Love, when it's intense, can feel destabilizing. If she's emotionally self-reliant, falling for you might shake that foundation. It's not that she doesn't want love. It's that she doesn't want to lose herself in love. So she steps back, not to reject you, but to regain her balance. The mistake most men make here is reacting from insecurity. They try to prove their worth, demand answers, close the distance too fast. But pressure only pushes her further. A stoic man. He waits. Not passively, not coldly, but calmly, grounded in purpose, presence, and perspective. He sharpens his craft, focuses on his mission, keeps his rhythm steady, because he knows a woman who truly sees your value doesn't need to be chased. She needs to be trusted. That calm confidence doesn't just hold her attention, it earns her respect. And in time, her emotional world will settle. Her heart will remember the safety you offered, not through words, but through unwavering presence. Final words. Presence over panic. If you're going through this right now, feeling her pull away, hearing the silence where there was once closeness, know this. You're not being punished. You're being watched. Not in a manipulative way, in a meaningful one. She's watching to see what kind of man you become when emotions get messy. Will you panic, or will you hold steady? Will you demand answers, or will you trust the connection enough to let it breathe? In the end, what brings her back isn't pressure. It's presence, not your need for her attention, but your comfort with her uncertainty. You don't need to chase her to show you care. You don't need to force love to prove it's real. All you need to do is remain calm when it matters most. Steady when emotions swirl, anchored when the world gets loud, because that's the kind of man she can fall for, not once, but for a lifetime. Let's keep it real. If this message resonated with you, I want to hear your story. Drop a comment below, even just a simple, "I remain calm when it matters most." That tells me you're not just watching passively, you're growing actively. And if you've ever experienced this emotional retreat from someone you cared about, share your insight. You never know who might need to read it right now. Welcome to Psychology Truth, where we don't chase answers, we embody them.